Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Welcome back, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and let's get ready to rumble. The Cowboys making some noise this morning. Lovely morning. Trading for Rashawn Gary. The Cowboys get Rashawn Gary, and the Green Bay Packers, they get the 2027 fourth-round pick. But, I mean, yeah, we're not wasting no time with this, ladies. How do y'all feel about this trade happening this morning? How big of a statement is this by the Cowboys front office to get this done, and pretty early, ladies?
I think people can maybe feel in Cowboys Nation a little better about not landing Max Crosby and giving up 2 first-round picks for that. Addresses a need at pass rusher. Yeah. $18 million base salary, $19.5 million against the cap. This year, you have him for 2 years under control with that contract he had previously signed with the Packers. So manageable. I think that they'll probably redo that and try and lessen the cap hit. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a great way to start the league new year. Officially is Wednesday, of course, but today is the first day of legal tampering, and so that's why you're seeing all of these trades and reworking deals for your own free agents so that teams can figure out what their money is going to be now that legal tampering begins, and you can begin signing players as early as Wednesday.
Yeah, legal tampering outside of the combine and all that stuff. But anyway, I think this is a sign of Dallas's, changing their tune. They have these young. I was just talking to someone the other day, and I said, I know a lot of people are kind of nervous about free agency and Dallas being aggressive in free agency and, being smart in the draft. This is an important offseason. We've talked about it here, ladies. But they have some young, hungry coaches in here. Mm-hmm. I think there is a difference between, and this is, again, no disrespect to the gentlemen who have been here before, but there is a difference between some of these guys that were off for a year or, got let go from another team and things like that. These guys are young. Some of these gentlemen, especially on the defensive side, were sought after. And I think that they are ready to – I thought that Dallas would be a little bit more aggressive during this time. So them going to sign Rashawn Gary from a schematic standpoint, I think I still need to figure out how he fits and what it is he's going to do. I think his body type fits, but I'm wondering, again, he was dealing with some things in Green Bay and stuff, so I'm going to take some time to look back into his film and stuff. But I like that Dallas is being aggressive on day one. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are like, nah, because of the Max Crosby thing and some of the stuff. But I don't think Dallas is done acquiring talent at the edge position, whether that be in the draft or free agency. This is kind of, I don't know if you ladies have paid attention, but I do feel like this free agency class and this draft class is very suitable to Dallas's needs. How do you ladies feel about that?
Absolutely. No, I want to go back to your point about you don't think that they're done. Kyle Yeomans put out a tweet. Shout out to him. He goes, I think this is just a little appetizer of what the Cowboys are going to do. But no, I mean, you make a good point, and especially with the schematic things with Rashawn Gary, because you don't necessarily know, of course, they're not going to stick to one typical type of scheme, right? It's going to be 3-4 base, but different movements. And it seems like he could possibly be that outside linebacker-ish type of feel.
He did that some at the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
their scheme is go ahead. Sorry, there is similarities in the scheme. To you ladies' point, I wonder too though. You remember we talked about Clowney, and we were all. I know I would. I was like, Dallas, this needs to be a priority, needs to be a thing. Senior Bowl happens, Combine happens, and then we start looking like, okay, well, maybe that isn't a priority for them. You think it's because there's similarities? I can look at both players right now, and I'm like, okay, one's taller than the other and stuff, but maybe there's some similarities in their play right now, and they thought this was a better fit, maybe, for a veteran. Or do they maybe still bring back Clowney? I'm just wondering what this means for
I think you still
veteran
need,
stuff.
I think you still need depth. At
yeah.
that position, we've experienced it, so I think we still
You still need to keep going.
depth.
Yeah.
I don't know if because now there's talks of well, I don't know if they're gonna get a Trey Hendrickson just because he might be a little cost worthy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
So, but I think that to your point, there's still a lot of free agents that the Cowboys could kind of dip into. Let's actually take a look at.
Yeah, you can get Gary and another one or two players for depth at that position for what it would take to get Trey
Max
Hendrickson
Crosby.
and with
one of
Max
those guys.
Crosby. You know, I think Max Crosby is a thing where if the Cowboys were one pass rusher away from being a good defense, then heck yeah, give them two, give them whatever it takes. But y'all, multiple players on defense away.
Yeah.
And let's be frank, that's the way it is. And so, you know, there are a lot of machinations with this, with reportedly with Terrence Steele getting restructured and freeing up. Reportedly $9.5 million or so around that. Malik Hooker gets restructured, a couple $1 million there. Again, I think that with Gary, they'll probably talk to him about reworking some of that contract. You may say, well, wait a minute. You say he's $18 million in base salary, but he counts $19.5 million against the cap. That's because in that contract that you're assuming from Green Bay, you have a workout bonus, and which is $700,000, and then you have a per game active bonus where you'd get like $48,000 per game. You have to account for that in the cap, assuming that he's going to play all those games. So that's $800,000 there. So. You know, but there's so much happening behind the scenes with some of those restructurings, and then last week with Tyler Smith and Dak Prescott, of course, and CD. So now you can go in fully armed with some maneuverability. First of all, you had to do it just to get under the cap.
Yes, ma'am.
But now you got to keep doing it to have the flexibility so that you can hit on free agency.
Yeah, we're taking calls, by the way, if y'all want to tap in with us.
Yeah.
Girls Talk, Boys Talk, 1-888-855-2297. Our call number is 1-888-855-2297. But just taking a look at some of the top free agents there are, of course, Trey Hendrickson out of Cincinnati, Hassan Reddick, Tampa Bay, Joey Bosa, Buffalo. Yeah, the list goes on. There's about like quite a few. So the Cowboys could potentially look at some others, or they could just possibly trust the draft process. So you never know. But going back to Rashawn Gary, what type of pass rusher is Gary at his best? Because when you look at his best season, it was a career high for sacks, 9.5 in 2021. Of course, 2025, he had 7.5 sacks, 20 quarterback hits, 7 tackles for losses, 1 forced fumble. So yeah, ladies, what are y'all thinking y'all are getting out of Gary when he is at his best?
Power. Yeah. I think you're getting versatility, obviously, from the different spots he can play at with his size. He's played this game for a while now. Christy brought up the fact that he's played in multiple schemes where he's been asked to both drop in coverage, but this also too. Oh, I was laughing in my head when y'all was talking, because I heard in my head, looking at the lineup of the defensive line, if you have a Rashawn Gary, a Quinnen Williams, Donovan Ezeraku when he's ready, and then also Diggy and I was like, you shall not pass. Because
and Kenny Clark.
And Kenny Clark, because one thing I am thinking about is, to me, this is also not just pass rush. This is, hey, we need to stop this dang run well.
Yeah, and to your point, I go to overthecap.com and spotrac.com, and it gives the salary cap figures. All right, the top 7 cap hits for the Cowboys this year, and if you include Gary in there, right, at 19.5, 4 of your top 7 are defensive linemen. Okay. And the others are, Dak Prescott and CD Lamb. I mean, it's amazing. Terrence Steele falls down to like number 8 or so. But I mean, there is a, so number 1, George Pickens, of course, because you put the franchise tag on him. And at $27.3 million, so you have to account for that. You have to also, because you did second round tenders on Brandon Aubrey and TJ Bass at about $5.7.
Those are important.
You have to count that $11.5 million against your cap right now, okay? Because you made those tenders. So again, that's why I'm saying you've got all this maneuvering and all this restructuring going on so that you can be ready. And yes, I think they're going to continue continue to be very aggressive. You say, are they going to keep going, Nicole? Yes, they absolutely are going to keep going. So the difference. I think one of the things that you're hearing is, well, the Packers were probably going to cut Rashawn Gary anyway, just to kind of free up some of their own cap space. Well, for a 4th-round pick, you're getting a known commodity. And when the first reports was late round pick, and to me, 4th round is mid round. Okay, I know it's a day 3. To me, 4th is not a late round pick. 6th and 7th are late round picks by my definition. So 4th round, we've gotten some very good players over the years in the 4th round. So it's not like you got them dirt cheap, and you are having to pay one of your top 7 cap hits this year and probably next year as well. But hey, he's a known commodity, and I like known. I'd rather have known than the unknown.
It's a collective effort defensively, and that's what it's going to be. And I think you've gotten to see that on the biggest stage again. And I'm going to keep referencing Seattle because that's obviously the pinnacle of football right now. Super Bowl champs. But the way that they were able to put together talent, get some mid-level talent, and even as I get into more of the drafting side of things and learning how to scout, it's like those guys are mid-level talent in football, y'all. There are only a few guys that are the upper echelon of athletes in this game. And so I know Dallas folks ain't talking. That man started in 15 games last year, had 7.5 sacks and 20 QB hits. Who was the second guy, next to Clowney, how many sacks did he have?
I would have loved 7.5 last year.
I was about to say, hey, y'all. You're trying to put together a unit. You need some help. So another thing, too, Christy, I wanted to mention, Rashawn Gary has no guarantee money left on his deal. Yep. So this will be what can you do for me for 1 year, brother?
Yeah.
Literally.
No,
what can you do for me for 1 year?
That's fine.
I love you made that point.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's very important. So you think he's going to be really motivated?
Stop laughing.
You dang right.
Yeah. Yes, he is. And I think, and I also, too, we haven't talked about, I know we've talked about it here, but Christian Parker, to me, if I'm a Cowboys fan, despite how you feel about it, which would be weird to me, but despite how you feel about it, if this is not telling you something about this team, is that they're like, okay, we're not, even for the fact that they were on the phones about Max, even though that they were in the thick of it,
that they were disappointed they didn't get him.
Yes, and the only time that they decided to bow out is when it got a little egregious. So I think this is a sign of them really trying to be aggressive for this young staff that has come in, that I think is aggressive and trying to match the energy of the offensive side of the ball. Like, let's go get some guys. Let's go make this team. Like you said, Rashawn Gary is a plug-and-play guy.
Yeah.
Yep. You need that.
One of the, you were talking about some of the free agents out there. Do you have an opinion on Mafe?
Oh, I got one, all right.
From Seattle?
I feel like he's...
And how much he might command, obviously.
You're talking about money-wise. You think it's going to be too expensive.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think
this will be his first time to hit, right?
When I think about him, I think about a Rashawn Gary for Green Bay. It's like, again, it's a cumulative of guys. Like with Seattle, I think that boy in my face voice kind of gets lost in the shuffle of that whole defensive unit because they have so many guys. But let me tell you, he was a problem, and he benefited from double teams. And also, too, he commanded double teams at times. So I wish if they was gonna go spend some money, I would do it. But at the same time,
does one preclude the other? Does getting Gary preclude?
I think I want to check on the age, but I feel like the role would be similar. No, I think the role in this defense,
Gary's what,
with
28?
Mafe, yes. And how old is Mafe? I feel like
he's probably 25 or 6.
He's just a nugget still. Okay,
I'll double check for you.
But I thought that his role, to your point, I hope it's not a this or that thing.
He's 27.
Okay, so
we have the same birthday.
Oh,
I'm a little older than 27, but anyway, I like that guy.
How cool.
Yeah.
But he can play, and he has that constant motor attitude. I think he would be a problem, like, for offenses as a rotational guy as well. And that's what he did with Seattle. Like, man, they have fresh guys going in and out so much. I hope it's not a this or that thing.
Yeah.
That's
with
Mafe and Gary. That's important to mention. Thanks, Christy.
Well, just throwing out. No, I love your question with some of the guys because obviously safety is still in play. I know you redid Malik, but that was so you can gain a little bit. Donovan Wilson, of course, is a free agent. You didn't tender Wanye Thomas, so I know there's a lot of speculation about Reed Blankenship with Philly and his ties to Parker, who's now the defensive coordinator. So. Thompson from Cardinals, I think a lot of people think that would be a good move and tying the Cowboys to him. But, oh, my gosh, it's so juicy this year. I love it.
It is. Free agency is that girl this year.
That's facts.
But I'm wondering, y'all, because we've been talking about this on the draft side. Clearly, Dallas was going after Max, which is run defender, solid, like all around edge, but a pass rusher nonetheless. I don't look at Rashawn Gary as a pass rusher. Like, yes, this is a guy that can rush the passer and is going to do it well. But I look at him as more of a complete package, and he's going to be able to do a little bit of everything. But he is not dominant as a pass rusher. Max Crosby was. Yeah. Is Dallas looking for another? How do you guys want them to handle speed rusher? Because Donovan Izaraku is not, I think he's a good edge and everything, but I don't consider him like a speed rusher. And I think Dallas is trying to address that. How do you think they should address that? Is this a free agency thing or?
I think it's free agency. But then again, you also look at the draft class and you have quite a few guys.
At the top, the edges, yes, ma'am.
Exactly, but
it's hard.
But then it's also like a gamble because do you want somebody who can come in and immediately impact, Lord Jesus, or you can trust the draft and just hope that they are there at 12 and 20 for that specific position. I don't know. I think right now so far I think that they've done a good job of like setting the tone. We're gonna go out and get complete guys. They've done that with a Rashawn Gary. I think now it's like, okay, what do you do with Sam Williams now because he's still a free agent? Are you going to bring him back? Did you expect him to be that complete guy? Donovan Izaraku, you're hoping him to be a complete package because obviously this is year 2 for him. But there's a lot more movement that they got to do for sure.
Is it? Sorry.
Go ahead. Not having that second year guaranteed on Gary, as you mentioned earlier, Aisha, is important because if you were going to bring in a younger guy, whether it's draft or like a Mafe, right? Then a bigger financial commitment. You've only got the 1 year, that you with Gary, so it'd give you some more flexibility after 2026.
Interesting.
What is the temperature on the Donovan Izaraku injury?
Yeah.
What's the temperature for y'all? Because I think.
So actually, I talked to him about it.
Love that. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, you're good. He said that he's fine. He expects to be back by like May. I know that everyone said that he'd be back by training camp, but he's expecting to be back by May. And the surgery actually happened, I believe, right after the season. So
it was in January. Right?
Literally like after the last game. So it seems like he's expecting to be back sooner than what some reports were saying, but again, like you don't necessarily know because it was a hip surgery. So he was battling that hip surgery like all season long, or hip injury all season long.
And that's what I wanted to, and so I'm hoping to get a little bit more clarity on as we get further into is the timeline. Because thank you for confirming like that this was a January thing that that he had the surgery.
Yeah, it's still a concern though, just because you missed the off-season work. I
am concerned, and I'm concerned only because too, he's an edge. He's a young edge. I thought that Donovan Izaraku next to what is the gentleman's name in Green Bay? Not Green Bay for the Giants. The edge from Penn State. Lord have mercy, why isn't I coming?
Micah?
No.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter. Oh, next to Abdul Carter, I thought that he was the best pass rusher, the best edge in that class as a whole. But he did get into the league and have some issues keeping guys' hands off of him. He is a bit of a tweener, and I think he is going to still have to learn how to. I love what I saw him did in the run game. He still has a pass rush plan. He still has that, but his functional strength and learning his technique is something I was really hoping him to take a jump in this year. Not saying he still can't do it, but when you are working your hands and when you're working your technique, you're not moving as fast as you want to. And I think that I'm worried that Dallas does not have yet a guy that can burn off the edge. And that is going to stress defenses in that way. Because not having it last year hurt you. You had a lot of powerful edges, and you have a lot of powerful defensive linemen, and you have that now.
Yeah.
You got a powerful defensive line.
Yeah.
You do not have a fast one.
But and the other thing about, you talk about the technique that he was working on and stuff, he's got new position coaches this year. Going to be playing more of an outside linebacker when they're playing a 3-4. And what's the biggest thing going from your rookie year into your second year in the NFL is that you get a full offseason in the offseason conditioning program. Most of that is gone as he's doing the rehab, right? So even if, to Nicole's point, that he's, hopes to be back in May and stuff like that, I mean, cerebrally, you can do stuff getting ready, for this transition with the new coaches and his new responsibilities that he's going to have in Christian's new scheme and with his new position coaches and all that, but he's not going to get that as much of the on-field stuff, and he's not going to get all of that conditioning work, and that's very disappointing.
Okay, quick. First off, we have a call. We're gonna take it real fast. Hoodie Kush from the Basement Boys. What you got? What's popping? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you ladies doing this morning?
We're doing well.
Fantastic. Well, it's a wonderful start to free agency. I'm pretty happy about the addition. I wouldn't mind having him and Jadeveon Clowney back on the roster. I think that's really good depth between the two of them. It still gives Donovan Ezaraku some familiarity on the other side. I don't think that they're done. Far from it. I would like to think that they probably have a few more moves up their sleeves, and I really do think Trey Hendrickson is in the plans. It just might take a bit on that front. So I'm expecting probably one, maybe two more moves for the defense, maybe even three, because from what I understand, we are looking at linebackers, inside and outside, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just looking forward to it, man. I'm liking the way things are going right now.
And safety and corner. I mean, with the back end, you got to fix this back end. So yeah. Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Were you okay with a 1 and a 2 for Crosby, and are you disappointed that the Cowboys didn't land him?
Actually, I am. I was always of the mindset that why go out and burn both of your picks when Trey Hendrickson and what is his name coming out of Miami?
Reuben Bain?
No, I'm sorry.
Jalen.
Not Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
Not Jalen Phillips. The other guy. Oh, dear God.
The other guy from Miami?
He was released.
From Miami?
Yeah. Oh, my God. He was released probably like a week ago. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. It's killing me.
I'm sorry.
It's who I have on here is Quinn Bell.
So you wouldn't have done the 2 1s that Baltimore did?
No, honestly, no. I think that was too rich. I think it was a little too rich. If Jerry's going to stand firm on getting more players for what he got out of Micah, then getting the 2 picks definitely helped. You could acquire Max Crosby, or you could have tried, or they did try. It was just too rich, and I think you can probably get. I believe you guys said it earlier. We don't necessarily need one really good player or one great player when you can have 3 or 4 really good players.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And that helps in the long run.
Agreed.
All right,
Cool.
man, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you. We
thanks. Great
appreciate
call.
you, Hoodie Kush.
Thank you.
Calling in from the Basement Boys. Make sure to check us out again on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Call us in anytime on Mondays at 10 a.m. But keep calling us, 1-888-855-2297. We're still taking callers, but we're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. We'll be right back.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign.
Get excited for the most dazzling DCC experience. Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Live is coming to a theater near you. Witness iconic group and solo performances, enjoy an onstage Q&A session, and even be part of a live audition. For dates and tickets, visit DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com/tour. And as follow-up from our previous segment, it was Bradley Chubb for the Dolphins, who was released 8.5 sacks last year. It was part of the big purge there in Miami. Tua going to be designated as a post-June cut there. So, but anyway, Chubb is available as well.
All right, welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Nicole Hutchison, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and also something to know, some good nuggets here from Nick Harris. He's always good with this. He says, Rashawn Gary is the second former #1 overall high school recruit to play for the Cowboys. He was the top-ranked recruit in class of 2016. Of course, Nick Harris is a high school football nut. But then Jadeveon Clowney was also the #1 recruit in 2011. That's a cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I saw a thing where Rashawn Gary is only the third player in history. You know, now you have all of these rankings coming out of high school, whether it's Rivals.com or 24/7 or Scouts and all that. Only the third player that was like a unanimous #1 coming out of high school. He went to Michigan, was a first-round pick in 2019 by the Packers, and 12th overall. So that's where the Cowboys took Tyler Booker this past year, just to, for reference. And if you're thinking, gosh, who did the Cowboys draft in the first round in 2019? I can't remember. It's because they didn't have a first-round pick. They had traded it for Amari Cooper. But in the second round, Tristan Hill. So that was so their first pick, although it wasn't first round, their first pick, the Cowboys in the 2019 draft, was Tristan Hill. A defensive tackle obviously didn't work out, and so that's why you're having to why they've been trying to chase defensive tackle, getting Quinnen Williams last year via trade. And anyway, there are consequences when you don't hit on those early picks.
We're feeling them now. That's why we got to be. That's why Dallas has to be aggressive right now, because they have not been able to supplement with some of those second, third round, even to the fifth round guys that they have tried to draft and develop, and they haven't worked out. Why is this Minka Fitzpatrick trade to the Jets irking me this bad?
Because, is going to average, about 13-14 million a year?
I say 3-year, $40 million deal.
Okay, so 13.
I don't know what the number is. It's irking me.
Is it?
In terms of the Cowboys not getting him?
No, in terms
he's on the backside of his career.
I think that's what's irking me. I think the reality of seeing the Jets next to his name let me know, Oh, man.
All right, we got a second caller here on Girls Talk Boys Talk. Presented by Invisalign. We got Lester in Minnesota. Lester, what you got for us?
Good morning, ladies. Wake up!
I ain't done that in a minute.
He did good, too.
You did a good job.
You did a good job.
Lester.
We need to use that as a drop.
Wake up! There we go.
It was funny. It was like an octave, like a half octave lower. It was good.
He's
Go
in
ahead.
practice.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Well, I really like the acquisition for Gary. I think we need players. So I'm glad we went after Crosby. That's good, but we didn't get him, so that's fine. I think we need more than just him. We need, like, players on defense, man. So I'm glad that they're pursuing everything. And I know that they're not done. I'm just waiting to see what else happens next. You ladies have a good day and go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Thank you.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Sounds like fans are excited about.
Yeah, I think so.
Rashawn Gary. They want to see a little bit more, but it's definitely a step in the right direction for the Cowboys because we have not seen them be this aggressive in free agency and land some hoping to be immediate impactors for the following season. What you got, Christian?
Yeah, well, no, I mean it's a solid trade, and like I say, it's just all of the moves now they can be serious players in free agency, and for those of us who have been around a long time, we know that this. I won't say a dead period early in free agency with the Cowboys, but okay, I will say it. There were many years where it was pretty dead, but to be fair. The people who jump on free agency into the deep end of the pool the first day, I mean, that's where the big money is spent, right? With the big names, and it's splashy, and the Cowboys have always been kind of waiting. And you can, I think, be justified in your criticism in previous years of saying, waiting, kind of bottom feeding and, being too budget conscious. But I just like the maneuvering. I like the second round tenders. I just think that they've set it up. And when Jerry, I think people were disappointed a couple years ago when the Cowboys saying, "Oh, we're all in," and then they weren't. But he's saying he's willing to bust the budget. So
there's definitely a difference in
it's a different
how
vibe.
they're manipulating.
Yeah.
Even so, I mean, when you look at the micro trade, this is what you've gotten from it so far. Quinnen Williams, obviously Kenny Clark. You have the what? Was it 20? Pick 20?
12 and 20.
12 and 20?
Yeah, 20 from
Green Bay. And then also, too, you were able to add Rashawn Gary. I just feel like you guys are, to me, the way that they've been able to kind of optimize trading away Michael Parsons, and that's yet to be seen, with the draft pick, but hopefully that's a player. But from that perspective, yeah, like I think they've won. I'm sorry to say, you don't say it that much, but if the player that they get at 20 works out, I think they did really well in that trade. And I think that the trade has been effective. Even to Christy's point, is that they have been sniffing down defensive tackle for years. And now that position we're talking about edge now. We're not talking about defensive tackle. Like, it's important still, but it's like they have shored up a position that is very difficult to shore up, and it is allowing them to go forward and do other stuff. And I also, too, to your point, they restructure every year. But this year it does feel like it is with a purpose. How they're restructuring.
Yeah, let's get into that actually. But also I want to point out that Kyle Yeomans did put out this tweet as well before we get into the restructuring contracts conversations. He said, "Here's the Cowboys' 4th round trade since 2000, 2026. Of course, you get Rashawn Gary, sending, of course, Green Bay to 2027 4th round pick. 2024, the Cowboys traded for Jonathan Mingo. Okay. 2023, the Cowboys traded and got Trey Lance. And then 2008, Adam Pac-Man Jones, 2008 4th round pick they sent. And then in 2000, O.J. Santiago. So those are all of the lists of the 4th round trades that the Cowboys have made.
Oh, there are more. They traded for Eric Scott. That didn't last too long.
Okay,
Jesus.
Yeah, well,
they ended up getting the choice. Anyway, whatever.
let's leave the past in the past. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Restructuring contracts. The Cowboys certainly making moves last week. They did Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyler Smith that cleared about $66 million in cap space. They were already in debt, by the way, $55 million. So that left them at $291 million, leaving $10 million to spend. And then, of course, today, Terrence Steele, Malik Hooker, they restructured their contracts, and it's about $16 million. So total. I believe my math's right. $14 million per Spotrac that they saved for Terrence Steele, and then per Spotrac Malik Hooker they saved about $2 million as well. So that's
I think the thing for Terrence Steele is he gets some guaranteed money.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing for him. So that's the benefit there.
Yeah,
it's like, why would he do that? Oh, for guaranteed money.
Yeah. Sometimes restructures don't mean anything, and dudes still get told to go to the house at the end of training camp and stuff. But in this instance, I think there's some information in them restructuring Terrence Steele and his guaranteed money and things like that. I understand that a lot of people are on the fence sometimes about Terrence Steele just because of the pass protection sometimes, but he fits this scheme. He fits this scheme as a run blocker as well. I think Dallas values him more than what I know. And again, the reliability, the guy is available. He's willing to learn. He's a good leader. He's a good locker room guy. And I think that sometimes, people can get so into the skill part of it. And don't get it twisted. I thought that his film last year was far improved from the year before, and that he is starting to look further away from that ACL. But what he is what he is. But I think there's some information in Dallas taking care of Terrence Steele. I expect for him to be here. For him to be, because they could free up, if I wasn't mistaken, right, they could free up some money later on if they wanted to.
Yes.
I don't think.
No,
I think Dallas is going to
you can't fill in his spot.
They don't have the room to do that.
Yeah.
Christy's like, it's too crazy to even think about trying to do that. Yeah. But also, too, I also believe that I think we're seeing with the restructure of Malik Hooker, and again, they could tell him to go to the crib. I do think that there's some value with Malik Hooker still being here, especially with Donovan Wilson being a free agent. I think that this is some information that they plan on him being a part of this secondary, and he needs to be a part of this secondary. So those two things made me be like, okay, you guys are going to be here. Because there was questions. There's been doubts of if those two gentlemen and Terrence Steele and Malik Hooker were going to be a part. I think that they're going to be a part of what they're doing moving forward.
And I got a chance to talk to Clayton Adams, offensive coordinator Clayton Adams.
You killed that. You killed that interview, girl. Yeah, you did that.
Well done.
At Combine, and asked him about we asked him about Terrence Steele, and he had said that he does get a lot of what's the word? I'll say criticism, just because of there's a little footwork issues with the pass blocking, but his run game blocking, the way he's able to get upfield and things like that, like his physicality in that aspect, he loves it. So they absolutely love Terrence Steele here, which we do too. He's great, like you mentioned. Good point there with a locker room guy. He's just a great guy overall. So definitely don't expect anything him to be told to be going to the crib at all. But no,
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Can I ask a question
Absolutely.
about offensive line, and just in terms of, we're talking about restructuring and stuff like
that.
This isn't a restructuring, but were you surprised that TJ Bass was tendered the second round? I mean, that's $5.7 million.
Actually, no, because I was being nosy last year. Yeah. There were teams interested in TJ Bass last year.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to TJ Bass, man. I love seeing a guy work, because I remember the year that he was drafted. He was an undrafted free agent, one of the highest paid. And I expected for this gentleman to be a fifth-round pick. So I was surprised that, people let him kind of slip through their grasp. And Dallas, again, being aggressive and undrafted free agency, was able to scoop him up. I knew that with how many resources Dallas has to allocate to the defense, they were going to have to make some decisions, specifically with the depth on the offensive line. And if they were smart, they were going to try to ransom some of it in some way, because Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass have put enough, to me, they have put enough film on tape to show that TJ Bass either could be a starter in some places, or they're at least very reliable rotational guys. Yes. I mean, I just don't want to discount the film that they put on tape last year, especially in the run game. So I knew that they were going to have to figure something out. I didn't know who they were going to choose. I didn't know if it was going to be Bass or if it was going to be Hoffman. But what about the center position now? Because T.J. Bass is a gentleman that has done some center things and stuff, but letting Hoffman walk is a decision.
Yep.
Well, and I wonder, talk to me about it.
You say let him walk.
Not let him walk, but what do you know?
You let him hit free agency.
Yes.
And you're hoping that he doesn't get a big deal, and that you're able to bring him back at what you have budgeted for that.
But you don't think so? You thought so? What I'm saying is was
They're
it more risky to do it with Bass?
Oh, you can't
than
risk Bass.
Hoffman. But that's what I'm saying. It seemed more risky to do it with Bass. I would assume.
Yeah,
than to do it with
and the
Hoffman.
5.7 is a lot. I mean,
It's
that's
a dollar.
twice what he made in his first contract. Okay,
It's a little dollar.
So that's good. But last year there's a player that the Cowboys signed in free agency. One of these veteran guys, Robert Jones, gets hurt. Doesn't play. Yeah, has the neck injury. Doesn't play for Cowboys last year. But they brought him in, and he was like I think 3.75 against the cap and stuff. So while that sounds like a high number. For a guy like Bass, that's kind of the going rate these days for a reliable interior lineman, right? As a backup, with some, with a track record, right?
Yes,
A proven commodity. And the other thing is, if something were to happen to one of your tackles, you could do what they did last year, the Cowboys, and kick Tyler Smith out if necessary and plug T.J. Bass in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I wonder I will see what happens with Hoffman.
Yeah.
Because I thought he's definitely found a home here.
Oh yeah,
he's definitely found a home here. But it did tell me something. I said, oh, okay, TJ, you better come on. Like it told me, like, okay, they value this player, and they didn't want this player to hit free agency. They didn't think they were gonna get this guy back, and that's a testament to his hard work and his development as well. I was worried about him at training camp in some spots, and when he gets in the game, he just
different.
He turns it on. Yeah. He can turn it on. Yeah.
He's a gamer.
We got to take let's take our third caller here. Gerald from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. What you got, Gerald?
Good morning, ladies. How you doing?
Good morning. We're doing well. How are you?
That's doing great. Doing good. Trying to get the day over with.
Okay. It just started. It's 10:41.
Hey, Gerald, are you? Do you have a side job as a Barry White voiceover guy?
Absolutely
You got a great
not,
voice.
but I wish I did.
You got a great voice, man.
I appreciate it.
They're too young. They don't know. It's a compliment.
I appreciate that. I got two quick comments and I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, I like the Rashawn Gary trade, and I hope it works out more than the other fourth round trades that you mentioned. Hopefully the defense comes in and you figure that out and see what's going on with that. My second comment was I think that the restructuring of Terrence Steele kind of makes it a little bit easier for the fans to digest. Not really that we should be mattering in that sense, but I think he plays good. He's been, an every down player ever since he came back from the ACL, and that's good that he's there. Prior to the left tackle situation, we got to get that figured out. But I think that's going to be good for what's going forward. But what do you think that we need to do as far as free agency to be in a good space before the draft is concerned? Because I'm thinking that, if we pick up let's say a free agent corner or a free agent safety, I think we should be good enough to go into the draft and, not be, balls to the wall, but or a linebacker and a safety, one of the two. So I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on that. And I'll hang up this.
Oh, that's fine.
Good. Thank you.
Yes and yes. I want both. Linebacker and and cornerback. All three. Yeah.
No, Chris said, give me all of it.
No. There's so many holes. That's the thing is fitting it in the budget and then try and address that now so that you don't have to rely on the draft. Yeah,
that's fair.
But answer to Gerald's question, yes. yes, I want it all.
Yes.
If you could only address one, which would you?
One.
Linebacker.
Just one?
Well, he said linebacker or safety, but I put corner out there as well.
Out of linebacker, corner, safety, I'm going corner. You got to address corner, especially with what Christian Parker wants to do. But he also said that for what he wants to do, you got to address the defensive front too. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That's why I'm not a GM.
Is there a safety that does some linebacker-esque things? Because if that's the case, then I'm down.
yeah,
I can get jiggy with that. Safety, I'm going to keep saying it. I think safety is an intricate position in this scheme with Christian Parker, and whatever they decide to do, moving forward, is linebacker or safety. You get better at one of those, I think you're better in general, especially if you get a guy on both sides that can come down and help in the run and be rangy and cause disruption. Dallas got killed. They got killed in the passing game with the linebackers. And so I want Dallas to be better in space. They got to do something for their second level to be better in space, or at least have guys from the secondary that can handle it.
There's some safeties in this draft that can do linebacker things.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of
Come on,
versatility in
Thieneman.
there, so shut up.
I love me some Thieneman.
I'm sick of you.
But by the time this show ends, the legal tampering period officially opens, right? Right, 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Central. And so, I mean, there could be.
It's about to start
you
going.
think
It's going crazy.
Hey.
What, Christy? What?
No, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I think by lunch there could be an announcement on something, just because I think they really are.
They feel in a way.
Yeah.
I can
They
sense
should
it.
be.
I'm
We
telling
should
you.
be.
I feel like people last night were so bummed about that. And I'm just looking like, y'all don't. I'm big on energy. And I know you ladies, I know, Nicole, obviously you had the pleasure to go to the combine, experience that. Christy, obviously you're around. It just feels, there feels like a shift right now to me. And I'm just going to say that. So we'll see how it goes, how it paints out. I know a lot of people are skeptical, but
Monte Taylor, do you think that something could be brewing?
I think
would
that
he be
they-
your top pick there in the corner?
Look at her.
What? What, Nicole says she wants a corner. Just trying to give you one.
Hey, I need whatever's going to help this defense be better than what it was.
they got to be aggressive. People just sat up here. Every NFL team sat up here and watched Seattle's defense get after it. Everybody is saying, I want one of those. I want this. I want this. I want guys that are physical like this. And this free agency class does have safeties. To me, this is one of the better linebacker free agency class we've had in a while, from top to bottom. They better get on that. If they ain't been on the phone, they wrong, which I think they've been on the phone. So they anytime minutes is need to be going. You hear me?
Well, they got till March 11th to be on the phones, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, so that's 3 o'clock Central time. Yeah.
How many days is it? 2?
2 days. Well,
free agency is just 2 days.
Well, tampering, yeah, that's when, so start the league year Wednesday, and that's when you can do the signings. Yeah. So you can, and I know we got to take a break.
We gotta
We'll
go.
talk about it. Yeah. Are we done? Did we already do the second one? Okay.
Oh, tater tot.
Yeah, we did a.
Did we do a second?
I don't think we did a second
Dang, we've
break.
been talking that much.
Chris,
Let's take our
We
second
need a break.
Oh, second break here on Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. We'll be right back.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, The Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign.
This summer, train where stars are made at Dallas Cowboys youth football and dance camps. Athletes of all skill levels, ages 6 to 16, are invited to learn from former NFL players and the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Step onto the field and practice like the pros. Register before May 15th to save $25. Visit dallascowboys.com/camps to register.
Man, we got too much fun on Girls Talk Boys Talk today, presented by Invisalign. We've got to go, but real fast. Before we do in the show, Christy, Aisha, and myself, we've got to make predictions on who the Cowboys, position-wise, will attack in free agency next. Who y'all got?
It's feeling like a safety to me.
Okay.
I'm just going to stay on safety. I'm not changing my mind.
All right, Christy.
Okay. I think maybe the first announcement might be more like linebacker, but
Linebacker
I'm with you. We got to improve at corner.
Yeah, I'm sticking with mine, too. I'm standing on business for
And
cornerback.
safety, I like yours, too.
Standing on business.
Yeah.
Standing on business.
Maybe
All right.
safety's day 3.
Yeah, I love that. All right, cool. Well, Cowboys standing on business through free agency so far. We'll see how they continue to do so over the next couple of days. We'll be back here on Monday at 10 a.m. Hopefully we got some news regarding free agency and the recap of free agency. But that'll do it here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. For Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?